Hi everyone, my name is Ava Nicole Francis, and I am here with Divya Gunasekaran for an interview for the lineup. So welcome, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So we love having a stand-up comedian on the show. We have a lot of singers, we have a lot of we got a ventriloquist who comes on every now and then. We got some dancers, and we have a couple stand-up comedians, and they are always so fun. So we are so glad to have you with us. I am so excited. So. Being a stand-up comedian, how did you get into that and when did you get into that?
Yeah, I've been doing stand-up about 5 years now, and it was just something growing up I always loved. I always loved comedy. I grew up watching SNL and Mad TV. And as I got a little older, started watching stand-up specials on Comedy Central on HBO. Um, and was just something I was always enamored with and wanted to do and was, writing jokes in my little notebook, even though I never performed. And then just got to the point where I was like, I have to get on stage and try to do this. And did that in New York. And uh, yeah, haven't stopped.
Are there any like challenges that you would say would that you've run into over like the process of like getting your things up there, like either both challenges for you or just like the literal like of getting up and doing it?
I think, when you're first starting out, I think failure is hard to swallow, where it's, when you're first starting out, and even after many years, you're just not good. Like it really truly is just a thing. Like most art, it just takes time to really master and hone your craft. And I think the thing that's unique about stand-up is the only way you can get better and hone your craft is to do it in front of people. And so all of your failures are very public and they feel very bad. Um, so I think that's definitely one of the challenges for stand-ups is you have to fail to get better and you have to fail publicly. And so when you're first starting out, that can feel really awful. And it still can as well, but I think as you do it more, you understand how it's just a natural and necessary part of the process. And sometimes it's fun and you kind of, you're able to take it in stride and laugh at yourself and put it in context of, okay, like that didn't go well, but now I know that's just useful feedback for me at this point. So I would say that's definitely when you're first getting into it, it's one of the most painful parts of the process.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I definitely don't have the heart to do that. I don't think I could. I don't think I could do that. Okay, so how do you come across your material? Like I know that different people pull from different things, but for you, like, how do you kind of cultivate all of the things that you talk about and form it into a show?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my material really is based on my observations and personal experiences, and then I kind of frame it into like a broader cultural context or social commentary. But I would say like it always kind of starts with me and like what I'm personally observing or experiencing, something that like happened to me or is about myself or that I just like came across and did not make sense to me, and then being able to kind of build a conversation around it.
Mhm. Awesome. That's so cool. So you're a writer on the UCB House sketch team, I hear. What exactly is that and what is like your job there and what do you do there?
Yeah, so UCB is the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. They have theaters in New York as well as LA. It does improv as well as sketch. I do sketch, so that's like written and then performed comedy. And so there's a few house teams. They're called mod teams. So there's different house teams, and each team has six writers and six actors. So every month we put together a show of sketches that the writers write and then that the actors ultimately perform. And so we have writers' meetings, we have rehearsals, but it's really us coming together as a team to put together a night of sketch comedy for audiences. So, the process starts with just pitching. We'll have different ideas for a sketch, and we'll talk through those. We'll share them with the team, get some feedback. Then we have a series of writers' meetings where we write the script for each sketch and really like hone and refine it. And then once we select which ones we're doing for the show, Then we have a series of actors rehearsals where we're working with the actors, we're running through it, we're doing blocking, we're refining, making choices, refining kind of pacing and performances, getting props together, getting costumes together, and then perform it in front of a live theater audience.
So how similar do you think stand-up is to like live theater, for example? Like musical theater, like straight theater, but like theater itself.
I think, there's similarities in terms of the writing. I do think they can kind of overlap and doing stand up and just having the process of writing jokes, like creating punchlines, tightening material and lines. I think that helps in terms of, if you're writing a bigger piece for theater or, for sketch, being able to punch up those scripts with jokes, being able to tighten some of the language. But I think creatively it can be very different because I think depending on how you approach stand up, like for me, because stand up is really personal and it's like very much about me, it's a different mindset when I'm talking about myself and trying to be open and trying to be authentic versus I'm crafting a story about other characters and building a different world. So I think there's kind of underlying functions of writing that are similar and that help one another. But I think like the viewpoint can be very different. And, the way I talk about myself and the way I deliver jokes can be very different from if I'm like writing for different characters.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well we're kind of coming up on the end here, but in your opinion, what would you say, like comedy-wise, is your biggest accomplishment that you've achieved so far?
Ooh. Last year I was part of the Netflix is a Joke comedy festival in LA. So that was very fun. It's a big festival. Some comedy legends and my favorites and role models were there. And then just performing in front of so many people. Probably the largest audiences I've performed in front of. So I think that was definitely a big accomplishment, a very fun experience, something that I'm proud of.
Oh, amazing. Well, that's so exciting. How many people were there? How many people were you performing for?
Oof. I honestly don't have the total audience count, but somewhere in the hundreds.
Nice. Nice. That's always fun. That's so cool. Well, I mean, congratulations on that. And I'm sure that was amazing. And I'm looking forward to seeing all that you accomplish coming up.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much for being on and thanks for coming and chatting. If you want to see some live stand-up comedy, come to the lineup on August 26th. It's going to be so much fun. You'll be seeing Divya along with some other really talented people. So come on out to see us and we will see you there.
Thanks, Ava.